This is an act of desperation, ladies and gentlemen.
Confident and you think you're going to win, do you call people Nazis? That's, to me, that is an assumption that you think you're going to lose. It's a sign of desperation. What is it if it's not? I mean, if they actually do believe that these thousands of decent people that are just coming there for a good time are Nazis, if you believe that, then you're a coward for not doing anything about it. And if these Nazis win, then what are you going to do? You know what would be helpful? Tell us who isn't a Nazi, right? Be specific. You know, I voted Saturday for Trump. Am I a Nazi? Yes. If you support Israel, who has warm relations for Trump, who actually named a city after Trump, is Israel now Hitler Germany? I mean, that's the like-minded radicals at Columbia would agree with you. So if you demand people to take a side, then you should actually take a side too. I think that, like, there's always a risk of being in a pirate ship, but the first principle is the First Amendment. So a guy tells a joke. This is what kills me. You don't have to laugh at a joke to know it's a joke, right? But the joke is so different than the smearing of tens of thousands of people as Nazis. This outrage over a joke after you go after thousands of people that are there for a good time. And I think it's because the Dems aren't having a good time. They're not having a good time. And they realize that, in fact, Donald Trump could win this thing. So what do they do then? I think we have to be prepared for that, guys. I think we have to be really, really prepared. And that's going to be a lot of what the coverage is in the coming days, because assuming Donald Trump wins, what do they do then? Are you going to cancel half the country, everybody who voted for him? Or are we going to go back to Letitia James, who's now campaigning to take over Eric Adams' job as mayor of New York City? And is she going to go after everyone who voted for Donald Trump? Is she going to go after every podcaster, every news commentator that has been for Donald Trump because they're trying to say that all of us are somehow bad? I mean, you heard this Mika lady married to Joe Scarborough, who's a former Republican, but then, you know, he realized who was signing his paychecks, and she realized who was signing her paychecks early on, you know, when they were just a thing. And she's making this pitch on The View about white nationalism. This is so gross, and this is so wrong, and this is so unfortunate.
I think you heard us before you came out. We were talking earlier about yesterday's Trump rally from hell at Madison Square Garden. So what did you make of it?
Well, I think it was everything that you need to know about Donald Trump in one weird white nationalist Nazi-type rally. And, of course, there's historic parallels to where and when this happened.
Okay, so she got the talking points about the 1930s, you see, and so did AOC.
This was a hate rally. This was not just a presidential rally. This was also not just a campaign rally. I think it's very important for people to understand that these are mini January 6th rallies. These are mini Stop the Steal rallies. These are rallies.
Quick reminder to go over to 76 Research, our financial website, where you can get a whole lot of information about financial markets and what stocks we like to invest in. Lots of different content there. Just a quick look at our top financial pick, up 24%, utility up 24%, real estate up 23%. You get the picture. It's important to put yourself and your financial future first. You can do that at 76 Research, just $1. It costs just $1 with code word dollar, $1 a month for the first 2 months. 76research.com. I'll see you there. So AOC wants you to think this is a new form of white nationalism, this is fascism, this is Hitler. AOC, MSNBC, Kamala Harris, and everybody else. I mean, she's got Beyonce, she's got Springsteen. I mean, it's amazing. And then it's somehow she's not ahead in the polls. Maybe because, you know, people are a little bit just over everything. And Kamala, no matter how you try and spin it in your head, reality is reality.
Madam Vice President, can you give us a sense of your internal polling at the campaign and how that is making or influencing your decisions on what to do over the next 9 days?
So, to be very frank with you, my internal polling is my instinct. I let the campaign.
Okay. Maybe they should get rid of her instincts. Her instincts are what have led us to the situation we're now in, with some estimated 11 million migrants having crossed the border, as she was borders are, with energy prices upwards of 30%, since she has been vice president. In other words, the economic policy is bad, the border policy is bad, and this starts to actually influence how people think about how they're going to vote. They're remembering the good old days when actually, it didn't cost that much to feed your family or to go on vacation. And so that's why you're seeing him now at nearly a 67% chance of winning. This is not that hard to figure out. My concern is, what do they do after the fact? You get the New York Times Siena poll showing them in a dead heat here. But if we go over to Real Clear Politics, increasingly all of these swing states, as I go through them, Georgia, North Carolina, Arizona, Michigan, all showing that, guess what? He is ahead. He is ahead there in the polls. And Kamala, no matter how much intuition she has about this, unless she's got some funny business going on, it looks increasingly like Donald Trump is going to win this election.